I was sitting in the doctor's waiting room when my phone rang. It was my daughter, Angela. Her voice was cold and distant. "Mom, we're going on a trip to Europe tomorrow. I already sold your beach house and your car. We needed the money. Bye." And just like that, she hung up. For a few seconds, I just stared at the phone in disbelief. 45 years of love, sacrifice, and care, dismissed in a 2-minute call. Yet, strangely, I didn't cry. Instead, a calm I hadn't felt in months settled over me. My name is Antonia Brooks, I'm 71 years old, and until that moment, I thought I knew my daughter. I had become a widow 6 months ago. My husband, Robert, had passed away suddenly from a heart attack while having breakfast, our usual morning coffee, his usual kiss on my forehead, and a "good morning, my love." Those were his last words. After his death, Angela had started visiting more often. She organized the funeral, took me to the doctor, and even helped with groceries. I believed it was out of love. Now, I realized it was all for convenience. The beach house she sold had been our sanctuary. Robert and I had bought it when Angela was 15. Every summer, we went there as a family, filling it with laughter, birthdays, and celebrations. She had turned those memories into money. And the car, Robert's old pickup, was gone too. The last thing I had that smelled like him. But as I sat there in the waiting room, a thought flickered through my mind. Robert had given me something before he died. 3 days before his passing, he had handed me a manila envelope. "Antonia, put this away," he had said. "Open it when you feel ready." I had tucked it into the drawer of my dresser and forgotten it completely. That afternoon, after the doctor told me I was perfectly healthy, I went straight home. I opened the drawer and pulled out the envelope. My heart pounded as I unsealed it. Inside were documents, legal papers, bank statements, and a handwritten letter from Robert. "My dear Antonia, if you are reading this, it means I am no longer by your side. I want you to know that over the years, I invested everything we earned. We own several properties and shares in successful companies. Everything is in your name. You are safe, my love. You are rich, not just in spirit, but in truth. Please, protect this wisely. And remember, our daughter must never know until the time is right." Tears filled my eyes. Robert had always been a quiet man, a bus driver with a humble heart, but he had been investing all along. He had left behind 7 properties, company shares, and enough savings for 10 lifetimes. And in that moment, I realized something poetic. Angela thought she had taken everything from me, but in truth, she had only taken the crumbs. The next morning, Angela called again. Her tone was sweet, fake. "Mom, we transferred your share from the sale. It's not much, but it'll help you until you find a smaller place." "My share?" I asked gently. "Yes, we gave you 30%. That's fair, right? We need the rest for an investment in Europe. Don't worry, Mom, we'll take care of you when we get back." "Of course, dear," I said softly. "Have a safe trip." When the call ended, I smiled. Not out of anger, but out of understanding. Some lessons, I thought, must be taught by life itself. That afternoon, I watched from the window as Angela and her husband loaded their suitcases into a taxi. They laughed, kissed, and never looked back toward my house. I brewed a cup of tea, sat at the kitchen table, and looked at Robert's documents spread before me. My hands didn't tremble this time. I had a plan, not for revenge, but for justice with grace. The next day, I met with Robert's old lawyer, Mr. Peterson. He reviewed the papers and looked up, astonished. "Mrs. Brooks, your husband was brilliant. You're the legal owner of every property listed here. Including—" "Yes," I interrupted softly. "Including the building where my daughter lives." He adjusted his glasses. "We can reclaim everything immediately and even press charges for the illegal sale." "No," I said. "There will be no lawsuits, no headlines. I just need everything quietly transferred back into my name." Let Angela enjoy her trip. When she returns, she'll discover what she truly lost. Mr. Peterson nodded, intrigued by my calm resolve. Over the next few weeks, we worked discreetly. Every document, title, and account was restored to me. I made arrangements to renovate the beach house, reopen the motel Robert had bought, and manage our businesses properly. I hired a caretaker and donated part of my income to a local charity for widows. Life felt peaceful again. I visited the ocean often, standing on the porch of the beach house, watching the waves Robert and I had once loved together. 6 months later, Angela returned. Her business trip had failed, and their savings were gone. She called me, her voice trembling. "Mom, we lost everything. Can we stay with you for a while?" I smiled gently. "Of course, dear. You can come by tomorrow. I'll leave the keys with the new tenant. The house has been rented out." "The tenant?" she repeated, confused. "Yes," I said softly. "It's no longer my only house, Angela. I have several. But perhaps when you have time, we can sit down, and I'll tell you about your father's letter." There was a long silence on the line. Then, a quiet, broken whisper. "I'm sorry, Mom." I didn't respond. Some silences are more powerful than words. That evening, I walked through the garden, feeling the soft wind against my face. The flowers were blooming again. And in the hush of twilight, I heard Robert's voice in my heart. "It's about time, my love. You stood up for yourself." I closed my eyes and smiled. Not in victory, but in peace. Because sometimes, the sweetest revenge is simply living well and letting the truth reveal itself in silence.